want to go to this place too. So it's a little bit of a tug of war process. So we've been in that tug of war since January. Okay? So finally got all that put together, got the plan here, and what we're doing is we've got a specialty tour here. This is mainly Galilee. And everybody that I've ever taken on trips will tell you Galilee is their favorite place to go. All right, that's why we're doing that. It's been a while since we've been to Israel, and 85%, there's actually a place where Patricia's gonna speak, actually, where the Gadarenes are at, where the demoniacs at. We climbed up among up the hill and among the tombs, and a guy was standing there and he goes, do this. And we did this. And we looked out across the Sea of Galilee and he said, that's where 85% of Jesus' ministry took place. Boom, done. I'm like, I want to be in Galilee, all right? So Galilee, we're taking some extra time in Galilee, and added on a day off of what the normal, most of these tours are about 9 days. And if you'll notice, yours is what, 11?
Yeah.
So we've kind of elbowed that, and part of the reason why is they told us we couldn't go to Jericho. I'm not going to take a chance. I'm not going to take people to Israel and not go to Jericho. I'm sorry. And I'll tell you why, for 2 reasons. Number one, when you go to Jericho, that is the first place where an Israelite put his foot into Israel.
Amen.
All right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, by the way, some of the controversy that you may hear about Jericho, there's been studies and groups and stuff that look at Jericho, and some of them will say, well, there was never a Jew in Jericho. Well, I've read the Bible, I know you're wrong, okay? The reason why they want to say that there was never a Jew in Jericho is because there's a little problem there that relates to ownership of land. All right, so if you ever hear some controversy about that, a lot of it relates to political issues that relate around to if they stepped foot in Jericho and they conquered Jericho, guess who that place belongs to? The Jews. So anyway, so Jericho's a beautiful place. By the way, there's a little place we usually eat there called the Last Temptation Cafe. Jericho is really close to, by the way, where Jesus was out in the wilderness and the devil tempted him. Okay? And so the Last Temptation Cafe is owned by a couple from Marietta, Georgia. So we always have to go there. So
cool.
Anyway, so it's a great place to go. But you'll go in Jericho, and then another reason why we go there is because there are a lot of places when you go in Israel, you go to, they'll say if it's not here, it's near. Now that's always true. If it's not here, it's near. But we know the place where Jesus was baptized, and it's not far from Jericho, all right? And so we know that location. You can actually, most trips, they'll take you somewhere up in the northern part, and they'll baptize. We have baptisms up there. And it's not the place where Jesus was baptized. I'm like, I want to go where Jesus was baptized, all right? So we go to where Jesus is baptized. It's not far from Jericho. Let me tell you what's so exciting about that place. That place is the place where Jesus was baptized. This is the place where they crossed over the river, the Jordan River, to come into the promised land, to go conquer what? Jericho. That's the place where Jesus was baptized. Furthermore, is the place where Elijah was translated to heaven. So if you put all this together, there's something to go into Israel where you'll start seeing how geography tells a story. So what was the children of Israel doing in that location where they crossed over the Jordan and they were coming into the promised land? Well, they were transitioning over to a new and wonderful new plan that God had for them. Same thing happens with Jesus. He's getting baptized He's beginning his ministry, transitioning over to a new plan that God had, obviously, for his life. And then Elijah being transitioned in that same location, going up to glory, transitioning to a new place. So you're going to see geography matters. So if anybody ever asks, why go to Israel? The reason why, there's a story in the geography. And while we travel, you'll see different things. For example, you'll see that one of the locations where Jesus raised a young boy from the dead is also a place where Elijah raised a young boy from the dead. And the response was, there's a prophet among us. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there's consistent stories that go over and over and over that you'll see in geography. So that's one of the reasons to go to Israel. And it's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful experience. Now, with that said, I don't know what you're wanting from this meeting and how I can help you. But let me just give you some things that people often ask us. They'll say, okay, is the price the price? Okay, the price is this, okay? The price, if you'll see, it says what, $42.96 from Atlanta, $43.96 from Monroe. Unless you're planning to go into Monroe, Louisiana, and leaving from there, that's on there because this is Dr. J. Perry Fowler and Dr. Joseph Fowler, who Joseph happens to be in Monroe. Okay, that's where they're flying out of. So that's the first thing to know. Is the price the price? The price is the price. But let me tell you what is missing. Okay, there are some things missing. Number one, lunches during the day. Okay? Now, what will happen is when you get up in the morning, you will go to a big buffet. And when you get the food there and you eat there, you'll get this big buffet. When you return to the hotel that night, you'll get a big buffet. Okay? So what we do is, and this is one of the things, and they hate for me to say this, but I say to our guide, I don't want to spend a bunch of time eating at a buffet at lunch. They want us to. They desperately want us to eat big buffets. They think we as North Americans, all we know how to do is eat, all right? So as soon as we get on the bus, what I say is listen, I want to do lunches, and we're gonna have a thing called shawarma. You know what a shawarma is? Shawarma is a chicken sandwich. It's chicken inside a pita bread with some, it's probably great for you, okay? We're not stopping at McDonald's. There will be no Culver's there. Matter of fact, it's just not gonna happen. They don't even have, there's one, and by the way, no barbecue, okay? Just, I know you're upset about that. We did go to a place that is dedicated to Elvis Presley once. And we had a hamburger. Were you on that trip with us? Yeah, but anyway, we did do that one time. So they'll do it, they'll throw a North American thing. Let me tell you, those lunches, here's what I tell everybody. If you don't want to eat lunch, don't eat lunch. Matter of fact, what you can do is just take a bag with you. You ever been to church potluck and somebody brings a bag and sticks something in it? Everybody's had that, okay? Do it, all right? You can get stuff and you can say, I'm gonna eat on the bus, or I'm gonna have a little picnic out here, I'm gonna sit down, and you can bring water, you can bring all kinds of things, and you can buy Coke or whatever. You can go the whole trip. Ask Dan Titus, he'll tell you the truth. Dan, did you ever eat lunch? One time he ate lunch. Lunch, oh yeah. Lunch, you gotta eat lunch at the fish place. $15 is normally what the cost of lunch is. And they're gonna add up over 11 days, okay? So I tell everybody, bring you some plastic bags, bring you some Ziplocs, get your food there. and they will hate me for telling you this stuff. But I'll say, because what they're going to do is they're going to hand me 2 tickets and say, you go eat, Pastor. They're going to say, you go eat for free. And the reason why they want me to do that is because they think if I go eat, you'll go eat. You follow what I'm saying? This is the Middle Eastern way. Mm-hmm. Because they're wanting to get something green from you. Mm-hmm. All right, so that's how it works. And there's nothing wrong with eating lunch. We will have the pauses. We will do the lunches some of these places, but most of the time, I'm going to tell them I want shawarma, or I never say this right, a falafel. Did I say it right?
No, yeah, you did.
Let me tell you what a falafel is. It's again in a pita bread. It's got a bunch of stuff that.
Yeah.
Sauerkraut's what it tastes like to me. You put it in there, and it's these little, what is it, chickpeas? Fried chickpeas things?
Fried.
Everybody probably needs to do it once, okay? But you put that in there and you eat it, and then they'll give you French fries. And just some days, I just got to have a French fry for Jesus, thank you for a French fry. And so that's kind of how lunches go. But I'm just telling you, if you say, I don't want to do lunches, you don't have to. Nobody's going to say, get in there and buy $15 worth of falafel or shawarma, okay? So you can actually go all those days without that. All right, the only other thing beside that, that's not in that number, is we give a love offering to our guide and our bus driver. They'll have a suggested amount. It's usually for the guide, it's $5 a day per person, and the bus driver's $3 a day per person, okay? But I'm going to tell you, that is up to you. I will tell you personally, I appreciate them, especially if they do a great job. And what I do is I bring extra. I just do. That's just what I do. It's kind of like I'm not going to go to Chili's and give a bad tip. I'm just not going to do it. It's just me. But you say I don't want to do that. It's completely up to you. Okay? Nobody's going to sit and take up offering, by the way, and look to see what you put in the plate either. What'll happen is when we get toward the end of the tour, I'll hand an envelope around, and it'll have EO on it, and it'll say suggested amount per day, and we'll stuff this thing full of money. And I don't want to hold anybody's money. I've never wanted to do that. That's not my thing. So we will pass it around. And if we have to take like the day before to do some of that, I will have a designated person that will keep that money. It won't be me. I don't do money, and I don't do money here. If you hand me your tithe, I'm gonna say give it to Jim Pritchett. Okay? Hey, come on in, Lena. So Lena's been with us a bunch of times. All right. There is one more thing that will be an option too if I can pull it off. Okay? And one of the things when we get to Galilee, every group I've ever had said, I want to go out on the Sea of Galilee. I want to go out on the Sea of Galilee, not just with we will go out on the Sea of Galilee, and it will be a part of your tour. We'll take a boat ride, and it's so wonderful. You're worshiping God, and they'll cast nets, and you'll see how they do that. It's so fun. It's awesome. Listen, I could live in Israel. I'm going to at some point because I know that New Jerusalem is coming down. Yes. I'm living in it. Okay, so it's not hard for me to. I just love doing this. But anyway, but we will probably, just so I'll put this ahead so you'll know, we'll probably if we can at some point, since we're going to be in Galilee so much, I'm probably going to say to the concierge, can you get me a boat for the night tour, for a night ride on the boat? The last time they got us a party barge. I'm not joking. and anyway, my son's church is, it was really kind of funny. Their pastor is really a little bit more tighter than I am, okay? Let's put it that way. And anyway, we went out on the party barge, and we were having a great time and just enjoying ourselves and just going to the Sea of Galilee. We did it for a couple of hours. I think it was like $25 a person or something we paid. To do this. You don't have to do it. Lena didn't go. You skipped. I remember. But anyway, but you don't have to do that. But we'll get one of those and go out there. And we had such a good time. The kids were dancing, and we had all kinds of fun. We just had fun on the Sea of Galilee, y'all. I'm sorry, we just did. I'm sorry that people don't like to have fun on the Sea of Galilee, but we did. And but we just rode, and we had worship music, and we just had an extra little bit of time. So I just wanted to throw that out there. That's it. What I just told you, that's it. And so that's kind of how it is. Souvenirs, of course. We're not going to buy your souvenirs for you, all right? And there will be places where they will take it. Let me explain to you, because I'm going to just give you all the full meal deal. Part of the tour, the way they keep it cheaper, is the way they do it is they're going to take us to certain places to buy stuff from certain people. How that works is the bus drivers get a little bit under the table for that. The tour guides, if you find some group that will take you and that don't happen, you let me know who they are. All right. So, but you can buy souvenirs, and anyway, I just say, just be smart about that and have your budget, whatever you want to spend. There will be some places that will be cheaper to buy than others. I will tell you where those are if you ask me. But one of the things that I won't do is I won't try to discourage you from buying from the Nissan brothers, okay, in Bethlehem. And the reason why I won't discourage you, I can tell you can buy their stuff cheaper elsewhere. Okay, I just told you. But these are Christians that are Palestinian Christians that are in Bethlehem, and that's the only way to live. And they do pretty good. They do pretty good for tourism. But anyway, there's that. I told you all way too much information. What questions do you have about? Yes, Lee.
Yeah, I'm thinking July 6th, be back next year of March, so it's still okay?
Yeah, of course.
Because of payment now, because I'm there.
Yeah, and that's a good thing too. So you'll know, I don't take payments for this. You work completely with the company. What you'll do is you'll go online, you'll register, and the company will take care of all of that. I have nothing to do with that whatsoever, except I will help you to register if you need help, okay? I'll be glad to help you do that. See, the Souza's just, and the Davis is just, was that hard to do?
Well, as long as you have those codes.
Okay,
It's okay. And just make sure you know what your password is.
okay. Let me,
You're paying exactly for your password.
right, and we need to cover that in a minute. And so you'll know, in recruiting, I'm recruiting, and so is Miss Patricia here. So if Miss Patricia asks you to go with her, use her code numbers, okay? So she's recruiting, but we're doing this together. But those numbers are really important.
It wasn't clear enough to ask you, is the insurance. So we can claim for now, but we couldn't see how much that insurance was actually going to be.
Okay.
And that was going to be on.
Yeah, I will tell you what I do, okay? And when I tell you what I do, that doesn't mean that's what you should do, okay? But I'll tell you what I do. I don't pay for travel insurance with this group, okay? And the reason why I don't is because of number one, you can get it cheaper somewhere else. Also, your credit card, check with your credit card company if you actually use a credit card for any of this. That credit card sometimes will cover you for that.
Yeah.
You need to see if that's true or not. You can go online and get travel insurance most of the time from people, secondary groups. You just put the numbers in there and they'll cover you. Okay. There is some health type stuff in there for help, like if you have to be transferred back. I cannot tell you to do that or not do that. I don't know how your health insurance works that you have to personally have, but in case people say, well, what happens if I get sick over there? It's just like here. You go to the doctor. The doctor actually will come to you. They'll call me in the middle of the night and they'll say, this happened to me. It's happened to me more than once. Hey, you have somebody on your tour that's sick, and I'll get up and I'll go down and I'll meet the doctor and we'll come to your room. Okay? And yes.
I said it was the water, right?
I wouldn't drink their water. They have water on the bus, and it's $1, and you buy it from the bus guy all day long. I drink only bottled water there.
I wouldn't either.
I mean, that may not be necessary, but that's what I do. Okay?
I would-
I don't like dysentery. I just don't appreciate it. It's no fun.
No.
And I'm there to spend time with Jesus, and I'm going to do everything I can to not get sick. And so that's what I do. Yes.
Do you have any immunization for you?
You do not. You do not. And the reason why we've waited so long is because we waited for COVID restrictions to be lifted. So we're not going to be talking about who has immunizations for COVID and who doesn't with the people that, you know, that are there. They do have, they have had, and it could kick back in, that you would have to get tested 30 days before and all that. That would be a good reason to have your travel insurance, no matter who you buy it from, in case there's a problem. But that's not, it's not expected we're gonna have a problem with that. It took a while to get through that. Yes. Okay, you'll go online and we can show you how to do that, and you'll give your deposit straight to them. Yeah. You'll give your deposit. And that's what I would do if you're interested in going. I would go ahead and sign up, and then I would put my deposit down. I think it's what, $150. I'll just tell you, I just made a deposit for Jan and I. $600 each is what we did, but that was more than they expected.
Anybody that has to get a passport doesn't have one. They've got a big backlog, 7 to 9 weeks, so
Oh,
if
I
they're
know all
considering
about-
going, they need to get
I
it.
just sent mine in. If you don't have a passport, if your passport is going to, you need to look at your passport and make sure that your passport, that it's not gonna run out 6 months, I think, or 6 weeks
6
after.
weeks after.
Yeah, 6 months after. I just sent mine in, and I want to tell you, I sent mine in, and I sent it in certified mail. I expedited it. I did everything. It cost me a fortune, all right, to do that. But, huh?
Now they're offering online.
Yeah.
Like I did this over and over online.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. So be sure that your passport is, yeah, because you don't want to wait till last minute on your passport. Make sure you get it. Yes.
I just renew my passport because I'm traveling very often to my country,
Yes.
and the leaves, it's not like the old one. It's like a lot of suspicious things there. It's 1 page is thick.
Okay.
I said,
Yeah, I don't know about the one from your country. Are you talking about the United States, or are you talking about?
They do it here because I'm dealer.
Okay.
I
Mine was not hard. I went online, I filled out the information, and I sent mine actually in physical with a check and with my new picture. Yeah. Yes.
We're gonna have a chance to eat dinner at a Palestinian home for this.
That's a good question, and I cannot answer that question right now. There is an option when we're in Bethlehem to go eat at a Palestinian's home. They do that as a ministry to the Christians that are in Palestine. And we've done that before, and it's usually about $50 to do that. I'm sure we can do that, but I don't want to promise you right yet. It's going to depend upon our time. I can get information on that. Yes.
How strenuous is the activity of the day?
It's according to how fast I run.
I mean, is it on uphill, downhill?
Well, yes, there's a lot of walking. Here's how this is going to work. Dan's going to be here with me. Dan, if I was a missionary like Paul, he would be Silas. I'm just telling you straight up. I mean, hands up, this is my man. I will be at the front of the pack, and he will be at the back of the pack. We leave no lost sheep straying in Israel.
Now, there are different levels of it. Like, they'll pull the bus up closer. There have been people who come that, had difficulty walking. And so you kind of choose what you can do, but you don't miss anything, like, they're real, well, I say that, if you wanna go down 120 flights of stairs down deep into a thing, you know, you can choose to do that, but you're gonna hear the story up above, and if you can't do that.
We had an
okay.
80-year-old woman went with us one time, one of our first ones, and she weighed about 450 pounds, and we got her there, everywhere. That's what I'm going for, to get you there. Okay? And so that's of prime importance to me. We'll get you there. There is some climbing. It is, there, and when I say climbing, we're not gonna climb mountains, okay?
There's
But,
trails.
but there also is a time when if you say, you know what, I'm pooped, and I need to just get out and sit outside the bus for a minute and look at and see where Jesus did the Sermon on the Mount from sitting right here. You can do that. Sermon on the Mount is not a big climb, but it's a little bit of walking. We take plenty of time. We're not going to be on a foot race, okay? But we are going to stay with it. I will tell you too, just so we can clear this, if we can go to another thing that's not on your agenda, I'm going to get us there. We usually get 2 of them, okay? So we're going to add 2. Like we went to Magdala last time, it's on the agenda this time. You don't want to miss Magdala. Oh my goodness. Magdala, you know you're walking where Jesus walked. So we'll take care of it. We have another lady, 84 years old, that's in assisted living over here place. She asked me today, she said, can I go? And I said, absolutely. She goes, good, I'm gonna start working out. but we'll get you there. We'll get you there. And but the thing is he'll be at the back, I'll be at the front. And what we do too is because we've been several times, there can be, I won't scare you or anything, but there's going to be some pickpockets. We watch you and make sure nobody's going to pickpocket you. Okay? And that's only in the city of Jerusalem, believe it or not. It's not everywhere. You're going to be in Galilee most of the time, and I'm telling you, it's incredible. There is a place there where we do have lunch in Galilee where we eat St. Peter's fish, which is not, it tastes kind of like tilapia. And you eat a traditional meal that Peter and Jesus ate. Fish, and except we have French fries. And ketchup. It's not great ketchup, but it's ketchup. Yeah. Dead Sea is basically 0. You're not going to have a hard time breathing if that's what you're asking for.
Pastor, my fear is the mountain now because we climb a hill and there's no rain, and so I said I might lose balance.
You think we're going to throw you off a mountain, Lena?
So that's my fear. But I can climb, but the thing is sometimes I lose control.
We'll get somebody to hang on to you, sweetheart. I'm going to take care of you, Lena. How many times have you been with me to Israel?
This is the 3rd time.
There you go.
The extension, this is expensive now, the way I look at it.
It's a little bit more expensive. You got an extra day or 2 there. Though that's why it's a little bit more. But also, guess what? Everything's more expensive than
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing no visas?
No.
And then average day, like, start at
Average day, we'll get up and we'll have breakfast. We'll eat about 7-ish. About 7:30, 8 o'clock, we'll get on the bus. We'll travel. Some of this will be on the bus, and that's why it makes it a little easier. When you're traveling on the bus, I mean, that guide is talking the whole time. And we're seeing Israel that way. But we'll obviously get off places. So there's resting on the bus, this way you explain it. So you have that, but it's just according. Most of the time we get back to the hotel around 4-ish. Okay? The first day is hardest. You're worn out. You fly overnight, you know. I am worn out. Okay? We're all worn out. But the first night, they're going to actually take us. Well, this is a new place. I've never been to the place we're going when we first land. But I heard that it's the best place. So you'll get rested up, we'll get back, we'll eat supper, we'll get good rest, and then next morning we'll be up and we'll be going.
So since it's kind of,
Basically 8 to 4.
so since we have kind of a meeting, will be safe, like, another couple wants to go out and.
Yeah, you can. He will take you to show you where to get an ice cream cone.
I walked 14 blocks though.
I will tell you, I will not recommend that you go gallivanting around Israel. I just won't do it, okay? You guys are adults. I am not your mama, okay?
Well, there's some places in Jerusalem that we
There's
went.
places, we always go to St. George's, Bazaar, which is the coolest place. I sure hope it's still open. That man was old last time I met him, really old. But St. George's Bazaar, it's a place to get cheap stuff. And anyway, if you want like widow's mite, it's a great place.
Some little places at the beach.
So I'll take you to some places. Dan will take you 20 blocks to get an ice cream cone from McDonald's. Don't be looking to me for that. I am not taking you 20 blocks, okay? But you can actually go to the concierge and you can get a taxi if you want. And you can go do the night. Just the next morning, I'm looking for you, okay? We spend a lot of time in the motel. We go eat, and Jan and I go and we play cards with people. We drink coffee. We just have a good time. We just visit with each other and enjoy it. I want to tell you, the people that you go with, I just need to tell you, you will be in love with them for the rest of your life. You will. There's nothing like having a time with Jesus and with your brothers and sisters in Israel that will bond people more than that. You will even like me more. You will. Yeah.
We gotta exchange our money or not? Or we
No.
use American money?
You use American money. I will carry extra money. I always do. In case, well, listen, don't everybody do this. But I try to bring extra money so that if you say, okay, listen, I need to go to, I can't get to an ATM. There are ATMs there, but they don't really work really great. They're safe ATMs. I've gotten money from ATMs before, but I will carry extra money if you need some money. I will probably have some money.
You're just giving it away?
What's your
No,
interest?
you
Sorry.
will pay me
I'll go
back.
ahead and raise my
Pay me
hand.
back.
Can I get it in advance?
You will pay me back. At least I hope you will. I've never had a problem with people not paying me back. Now you got me